Oh, well this time instead of getting mail, like the usual packaging, I got an Amazon package. I wonder what it is. It's actually a smaller envelope. What we got is actually small, but it packs quite the punch. I don't think it actually punches anything, but you get the idea. And here it is actually. A crucial memory. A 16 gigabyte DDR4 2400 frequency memory. It's RAM basically. And for this, you can basically just plop it inside of this bad boy, get a speed boost. I'm actually going to show you the procedure and some cool things that I'm going to find inside it. Don't expect this to turn into a tech channel. I just like making content in general. So, yeah, see you in a bit. And by in a bit, I mean actually probably like a day after I record this, because I'm kind of busy right now. So I won't be opening it up until like much later, and then recording that and editing and shit like that. So, see you very much later. Alright, so we've opened up my laptop, and unfortunately I have no compressed air, so if you look at the dustied up wind, I forgot what they're called, propellers, ventilation, yeah, the ventilation system of this machine, then you'll see it's very dusty. I'm going to clean that up in a few more days once I get my canned air, I think that's what it's called in English. And let's look at some interesting details about this computer actually. One thing that is of notice is that there is a slot over here that allows you to insert an M.2 solid state drive in here, little solid state memory you can put in. And essentially what this does is it will let you add in an extra storage. However, in reality, once you have this set up over here as well, this is supposed to be, you know, a placeholder for your disk drive if you were to potentially put one. Now what many people found out is that you can either put an actual disk drive in here, so you can put in disks into this thing, or you can alternatively, actually it's been found that in this thing you can fit in another drive in this, but they haven't figured out how exactly to connect it to the main part. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove this. We're going to replace the RAM. We're going to look at what type of RAM it has as well.
It sounds better with canned air.
I know, right? Yeah, and what you just heard was my brother. Alright, so you've seen him in previous videos, or heard him in previous videos. So this is the RAM that it comes with. In other videos I've seen actually, the model in question, this model in question I have, the Lenovo Ideapad L340-15Api. It's specifically a model of Ryzen 7 and integrated AMD graphics, Android 10 or something like that. And basically what it comes, I've seen most of the time it comes actually with a Samsung RAM, but this one instead is a RAM XL RAM. It's probably likely due to regional differences, or, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's an 8 gigabyte RAM. The only odd thing, maybe someone who's more tech savvy could explain it, is that my computer, when you go into the administration of processes, you go in there and it says that your RAM is going to be a certain frequency of megahertz. In my case, mine says it's 2400 megahertz, 2400, whatever you want to say. And this one actually here claims that it's a, if it can actually focus, it's a 2666. Actually, this one actually specifies more its volts, so I assume it's divided in that. I've read a bit about RAM, and all I understood was that even if it claims that it's a certain frequency, if you insert one that's like around the same range or something like that, where it's claiming to be in that megahertz, but the volts are different, it's distributing those volts within those megahertz. It's kind of complicated, but that's why I had to make sure and get, as you see here, a DDR4 2400 as mentioned, because that's the direct thing that my computer states is the maximum. Now, these models actually withstand up to 16 gigabytes as the maximum. When you run the CMD command that tells you which is your maximum RAM that you can upgrade it to, it clearly states 16 gigabytes of RAM. Although there is a video where someone puts a 32 gigabyte RAM, and I would honestly not recommend that, because in a way it'd be indirectly like overclocking your system. That's at least from what I've been explained by more tech savvy people as well. So to play it safe, I figured a 16 gigabyte RAM would be better. And since we're talking about speeding up this machine, as previously mentioned, there is a solid state M2 drive space over here. It even comes here where you can insert the little, where you can adjust it. You need one of these small things over here, and apparently they're hard to find. I'm not sure about that, but that's what you need to do. And that gives us enough space to add in, for example, what I have planned is getting a solid state 1 terabyte, which would upgrade this machine into a 3 terabyte machine. But, and if you know more about this process, I would be migrating everything that is in here into the M2 and then making the BIOS boot from that instead, without having to reinstall anything, without having to get a new version of Windows and so on. It's apparently quite a simple process, and it looks like so. So when you insert one of these, that is the plan, we're going to be speeding up this machine pretty much effectively, upgrading it after 1.5 years of owning it. Which is, you know, I've gave it its usage worth. It runs games very well, but I think it can run them better. So let's move on to actually installing RAM, because at this point I'm just bragging like an idiot. And with that said and done, we have replaced the RAM. Although this one had the label on the opposite side where it usually goes, I just noticed it really doesn't make a difference. But it is, the difference it does make is that the way it's positioned. These pins need to be in that way or else it's not going to insert in. I was actually starting to worry for a moment until I realized, oh, they put the label backwards. Because this one, it actually has it forwards, visible. So if I tried to change it again, I would probably forget, if I didn't know any better, what the RAM specifications were. But otherwise, there you go. It's already placed in. It's been inserted, and yeah. So this is like part 1 in my upgrading my laptop videos, just disguised as one of the usual unboxing videos, and we're gonna give it a test run in a bit. So I'm just gonna put everything back to where it was. I did take a while opening it up because it was a bit too sturdy. It does keep the pins in place, and that's pretty admirable about it, honestly. It's a nice little system. And next time we open it, we're gonna actually give it a cleaning, because we're gonna get compressed air. As we were joking earlier, I accidentally called it canned air. Air in a can. And we're going to be cleaning up this bad boy. And then, yeah. So, yeah, this is a quite interesting discovery over here. I really like how user-friendly or customizable-friendly these machines are, because the Lenovo gaming PCs or low-end, medium-end PCs are considered often like budget gaming machines. And you can really tell why, because they give you a lot of options to be able to, you know, customize it to your liking, you know. Like any other laptop, you can remove the hard drive and, you know, what if you want to change it for a solid state, or in case you're feeling a bit more conservative of this machinery, all you could do, as mentioned previously, is just swap it with a solid state over here without losing anything over here. Just migrate everything over there with your app of choice, and there you go. So yeah, let's move on to the actual focus, the RAM update, and see how well it works. And welcome. This is me, Wednesday at the time of recording. So yeah, I didn't actually edit it yesterday when I should have. Yeah, welcome to. This is the post editing, basically just to show off that our RAM actually was efficiently installed. We got our stuff over here. It's in Spanish. Don't mind that. If you're using integrated graphics like the AMD Radeon stuff that, for example, is included in this Ideapad L340-15Api, then this is most likely going to be the case. In reality, you're only going to have to be using 13.9 gigabytes, but it really doesn't matter because it's still quite a lot anyways to use. You're pretty much getting full access to the 8 that you were kind of not using fully, because when you had the 8 gigabytes, you were only using 6 of those. Now that's a big change, isn't it? So it is still using quite the double of it. But overall, our process has worked, and as mentioned previously, our next upgrade will very likely be installation of an SSD. Now, which one we'll do? I might do 2 terabytes if I'm feeling greedy. If not, we'll just go with 1. because at this point, if I did that anyways, I would have like 2 terabytes with, like, I already have 2 terabytes as a base, so we would upgrade it to 1 terabyte, which would just like make it 3 in total. And if I upgraded to 4, it would be, I mean, if I upgraded to 2, the SSD, it would be 4 in total, and that would be pretty funny. But I do think that would be a tad bit too much. But who knows, honestly. So yeah, that was a good fun installation. So yeah, see you probably next month for this one. I'm not sure when I'm gonna be getting more figures right now, but we'll see. So take care and thank you.